What is going on, YouTube? So coming back today with my Maryland Terrapins football preview for 2016. Talking about a team out of the Big Ten East that went 3-9 last year, 1-7 in conference, finishing tied for 6th in the East. So they bring in a whole new host of coaches. New head coach DJ Durkin takes over. And this team has a lot of returning talent, especially on the offensive side of the ball. So go ahead and start with the first of my three key players for Maryland. And the first one is the biggest name on Maryland, the cornerback Will Likely. One of the few players in college football that can have an impact on the game on all three sides of the ball. He is one of the most athletic corners in football. Just to say he's athletic and good or can have an effect everywhere doesn't really give him enough credit as a corner. He is still a very good cornerback. One of the best returners in college football, or one of the best punt returners, kick returners in college football, also just one of the most electric players in college football. I'm assuming if you're watching this, you already know a lot about Will Likely, so I will go ahead and move on to my second key player, and that is Perry Hills, the presumed starting quarterback for Maryland. Caleb Rowe has a chance to take over that spot, but I think it is Hills for the taking for what Maryland probably wants to do offensively with more of a run-pass option. I think that Perry Hills is the best option. Also, new offensive coordinator Walt Bell, like I said, probably wants to run pass option, and taking into account not just Hills but also Wes Brown and just a whole host of Maryland running backs. They got a nice little stable of running backs as well. Ty Johnson is going to be one of the other big names to watch out for in 2016, as well as Trey Edmonds. So get on to my third key player and moving over to the defensive side of the ball again, and I've got Jesse Anibonum. Anyway, one of the most athletic guys on the defensive side of the ball for Maryland will be switching between defensive end and linebacker. Can definitely have a big effect on Maryland's defense this year. Defense that's going to have to step up pretty big in 2016, considering they didn't really get lit up per se a lot down the stretch. Actually, yeah, they did. It's just a defense that's got to be better. I mean, this defense actually, yeah, they got lit up pretty much every game. You look, I mean, one impressive victory for them last year was against USF 35-17, which seems like kind of a fluke. But anyway, this defense is going to have to step up this year if they want to have any chance of competing. Obviously, the offense wasn't fantastic last year, but giving up like 35, 40 points per game in the Big Ten is not going to win you that many games. He's not the only name to watch out for along this Maryland defense. Roman Braglio, name to watch out for, obviously Will Likely, Jalen Brooks, Abner Logan, Denzel Conyers, Darnell Savage. A couple names to watch out for along this Maryland defense this year. I think maybe the weakest part of this team could be the secondary, maybe outside Will Likely. They've got, like I said, they got to be better. Darnell Savage is going to be a very, very key player to Maryland's success this year. He will be starting opposite Will Likely at corner. So get on to the first of my two X factors, and the first one I have is the new coaching haul. Like I said, they bring in pretty much three new important coaches, offensive, defensive coordinators, and head coach. And it's hard to tell how the team's going to react because it's hard to be worse than they were last year. Maryland, a team that's used to mixed results for football, but normally has higher expectations than a 3-win season. I think how athletic this team is, this is actually a very athletic football team. If you look up and down the roster, not just Will Likely, they got a lot of players outside of him that are extremely athletic, extremely fast. I think with the way this offense is set up, the amount of speed that's on this offense, the new run-pass option style can definitely be beneficial. You really take advantage of Ty Johnson's and Trey Edmonds' ability when you run a faster run-pass option, especially Perry Hill's dual-threat ability. Defensively, like I said, the secondary needs to step up. The defense might want to be a little bit more aggressive than they were last year. They'll be running in the 3-4 scheme this year, and there's more players just outside of Braglio and Evenham that are going to need to step up along the defensive line. Adam McLean stepping in as a true freshman at at the defensive line. Mike London, the new D-line coach coming in from Virginia, should help as well. So, get on to my second key factor, second X factor, I can't talk right now. Less turnovers. And this offense it's mainly the quarterbacks. The quarterbacks struggled to throw the ball last year. There was no doubt about that. I think that's one of the things that needs to get fixed for this year. I think with implementing a run-pass option, the amount of attempts that quarterbacks will throw in Maryland's offense this year will be far down, which is good. You're still running the same set of quarterbacks that you will have had last year, and utilizing more of a big stable of running backs this year. All that, I think, culminates to a more successful approach for the offense in 2016. So get into my trap game for Maryland, and I think it's going to be UCF. This just has all the makings of a trap game for a Maryland team that will probably be favored heading into this game, but UCF, a traditionally good non-Power 5 team that just had a miserable season last year. Maryland does have to travel to UCF. This is a UCF team that needs to perform well this year if they're still trying to get into the Big 12, so that just might be a little bit of added, I guess. The words. Incentive. That's what I was looking for. I sound like a retard right now. Anyway, a little bit of added incentive. It comes at a time where their schedule is pretty weak. Might be the hardest game of their first 4 games, so that can't be one that they take lightly. They can't get comfortable with the schedule that they have, especially considering they're coming off a 3-win season. So my biggest game for Maryland, and this is really if they want to move back up into the contenders of the Big Ten East, and that is Penn State. It is the first big game of the year for them. Their second conference game overall comes after the Purdue game. They do have to go to Beaver Stadium. I could see this being a pretty good game. This is a Penn State team heading into the season with a lot of question marks. Obviously, after losing Christian Hackenberg, who pretty much the team revolved around him for so long that it'll be weird not seeing him there. And like I said, who knows what Penn State team's going to show up this year. And then Maryland, like I said, if they can take advantage of that, they have a very good chance of starting 5-0. And a team that went 3-9 last year, starting 5-0, that can be some serious momentum heading into the season, especially to being able to get a bowl bid for this year. So, get into my record prediction for Maryland, and I think they will improve this year. I think they're going to start heading in the right direction, but I do not think they will be bowl eligible. I think they will go 5-7. I think they will start out the season very hot at 4-0 and then be able to get a win against Rutgers to finish out the season. They have a very tough stretch run between Penn State, which is on October 8th, and then Nebraska on, November 19th, with Michigan State, Michigan, and Ohio State games all in the middle. They will be very, very tough on them that I think could easily spark a losing streak. So that pretty much does it for my Maryland preview. Should be an interesting team to watch, a very athletic team to watch in 2016, so definitely keep your eye out for them, especially if you're a Big Ten fan. So that's pretty much it. See ya.